if you thought Fox News would have a good take on the situation in Florida, where they are teaching that slavery actually benefited black people, well, guess again, because here is the five from Fox News, where they go on to downplay, I believe it's the five, where they go on to downplay the Holocaust. Yes, literally, they downplay the Holocaust and try to soften it up. Here we go. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Do you think that she read the whole thing and just decided to cherry pick something?
I do think that she read the whole thing.
And to give it context, they're talking about Kamala Harris when she gave a speech down there in Florida. It was kind of a standard speech, nothing too fiery. I mean, it's Kamala Harris we're talking about here. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back to it.
And I think that it's an incredibly complex piece. When you look at the 191 passages, you have some good. And frankly, I'm just fundamentally uncomfortable with the sentence that blacks benefited at all from this. And, it made me think, as someone, obviously I'm not black, but I'm Jewish. Would someone say about the Holocaust, for instance, that there were some benefits for Jews, right? While they were hanging out in concentration camps, you learned a strong work ethic, right? Maybe you learned a new skill.
Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning? Vic Frankl talks about how you had to survive in a concentration camp by having skills. You had to be useful. Utility kept you alive.
But we're also talking about...
Yeah, and there we go. Like, mind-blowing take from Greg Gutfeld. See, this is what happens when you are too busy playing Wolfenstein at night. And Greg Gutfeld is like, oh, bro, just be like BJ, man. Come on. Just be like BJ Blazkowicz, upgrade the shotgun, and you're good to go. You're ready to go out there. You're going to knock out some Nazis, and you'll survive it. Which is a mind-blowing take for numerous reasons, because there was gas chambers, beatings, forced labor until you literally pass out and die, medical experiments. All of that happened. And that is even if you even made it that far, because a lot of people were dying in trains from lack of food, lack of water, the weather conditions. So being a skilled plumber or being a skilled shot wasn't going to help you in those conditions, because guess what? You're still going to die in those situations. It's an absolutely mind-blowing take. Let's go ahead and continue it.
Middle schoolers here. And there's a lot of concern about what age people are prepared to understand complex issues. I'm not sure that 12 is the right age to start hearing things like, and when you were enslaved here in America.
What about gender?
So, and that is like another favorite part of mine too. So she's not objecting to the fact that what Greg Gutfeld is saying is absolutely stupid, because essentially he was like, oh yeah, in order to survive, you had to be like a useful Jew. You can't just be like one of these like regular normies. You had to be like one of the useful ones. That is how you survived. And just an absolute mind-blowing take, very idiotic, as I just explained. But somebody else, where's it at? The Auschwitz Memorial also explains right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, because, we shouldn't have to explain it in 2023. I know, in 2023, but like, yeah, it's current year, and we have to sit here and explain that there is no silver lining to the Holocaust, a genocide. So the Auschwitz Memorial goes on to post, I know it's quite sad that we have to do this, but Republicans are going to Republican. While it is true that some Jews have used their skills or usefulness to increase their chances of survival during the Holocaust, it is essential to contextualize the statement properly and understand that it does not represent the complex history of the genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany. Viktor Frankl's observation about the specific situation in Auschwitz, which at some point became a camp that connected the functions of a concentration camp and extermination center, and where deported Jews went through the selection process, highlights how some Jews became registered prisoners and might have used their skills to gain favor or prolong their lives in that particular setting, yet it never gave them complete protection. However, we must not look at the larger picture here, which ultimately here, Germany's goal, Hitler's goal, was to exterminate the Jews, to kill as many as possible. Millions of them were in fact brutally murdered, regardless if they had useful skills, as Greg Gutfeld called it. And as the post will later indicate, while some of the ghettos seemed to have the goal of being productive and the Jews were used as slave labor there, being useful did not guarantee safety. Of course it didn't, as the Nazis eventually decided to liquidate them, leading to the murder of those considered valuable as well. Furthermore, during the final stages, during the final stages of the Holocaust, as the Nazi system was collapsing, concentration camp prisoners were evacuated to shrinking camp systems, resulting in the death of many. In these circumstances, being useful did not offer protection either. So, yeah, the fact that like you can just like be useful, bro, and like know how to do skills and stuff, is idiotic, okay? And this is the same thing that they're talking about with slavery, okay? Yeah, bro, like slavery taught you all these sorts of skills, which has already been debunked. I talked about it in a previous video. In the previous video, we talked about how the guy who wrote this new teaching method about how blacks were actually benefited from slavery is absolute bunk. Okay, absolute bunk. We looked at all the receipts, absolute lies. Most of them were never even slaves, and the ones, or like the one or two that were slaves, didn't learn it because they were slaves. They learned it in spite of slavery, and a lot of them learned the skills after they were freed. Anyways, just absolute garbage. But here we are. We are now talking about how, yeah, bro, the Holocaust was kind of bad, man. Yeah, I know. Shocking stuff. But I guess when you have like Fox News ramping up their propaganda to the extreme, you got to remind people that, yeah, the Holocaust was actually bad.